Hello, and welcome to my super late January TBR. Also, I should probably introduce myself. I'm Holly, and welcome to my BookTube channel. I started this channel just to kind of have fun with talking about books and keep track of my reading and stuff like that. So I hope you hang out with me and enjoy the videos I make in the future. I really want to try to eventually post twice a week. For now, I'm going to post once a week, and we'll see how that goes and where my reading goes and etc. etc. But hopefully in the future we can get to 2 times a week and it'll be fun. So to start off my booktube, I wanted to keep things really structured for me reading wise. So I joined a couple reading groups that have themes for every week, and I want to start doing that. And then I can bring more casual stuff in. But for the first month or so, I really wanted to be structured just so I can fall into it a little easier with the videos and everything. So it's not going to be as fun or as casual maybe as other booktubers, and for that I apologize. The first 4 books I'm going to talk about are from a group called Around the Year in 52 Books. I had to look at my notes for that one. The first week is the theme In the Beginning. I knew instantly which book applied to this. I didn't even have to do any research on which books matched this theme. I have The Garden by LCV Adinoff. It is about Adam and Eve from Eve's point of view. And when I pulled this off my bookshelf to kind of set it aside for my TBR, I noticed on the back, which I did not know it said this, I promise, it says In the Beginning. So it's pretty much perfect. I've pretty much already told you what it's about. It's the Garden of Eden from Eve's point of view and the serpent's point of view. It's written via Eve, but the serpent is there with her a lot. So I think it's an interesting idea to explore, and it matches this prompt perfectly. The next prompt for that group is a name, an author name, and a title that does not contain the words A, T, and Y, which was actually more challenging than I thought it would be. I thought, no, that's easy. No, it's not. But I did find The Bone People by Carrie Holm, I think is how you say her last name. It is about a woman who lives on the coast in New Zealand in a tower off the water, and she's basically kind of, loner is not the right word. She just keeps to herself. And she ends up finding a boy that broke into her house, and he's a mute. And it follows the relationship between her, the mute boy, and his foster dad. It talks about being half European and half Maori. I think that's how you say it. I always used to say Maori, and I totally found out I'm a big old jackass, and that is not how you say it. I don't even know if I said Maori correctly. I did watch a news broadcast, and they were saying it a bunch of times, and I was like, okay, you can do this, say it, because I really want to say it correctly, and I don't want to mess it up. Also, I should know that people on Reddit were saying it's like moldy, but replace the D with an R, and I was just like, Mori? I'm trying. But yes, it does focus on being part European, part Maori, and the struggles that come with that. And so I think that's interesting. And I don't want to say never, but I believe I have not read anything by a New Zealand author. The third prompt for that group is a title based on my favorite things, the song, like in The Sound of Music. I am not a big fan of that song, so, but that's whatever. I was sitting there parsing the lyrics up and down. I was like, well, I could do something about roses, I guess, or, I don't know. But there is a line, as we all know, when the bee stings, so I chose a book on my shelf that had the word bee in it. This is called Bee Season by Mila Goldberg. It's about a young girl named Eliza, and she kind of doesn't fit in with her family because they're all kind of busy and focused on other people and things. Her dad is more focused on her brother, her mom is more focused on her job, and Eliza's just kind of mediocrely going through life, not doing great in school necessarily, and stuff like that. When she does really well in a spelling bee, I believe, everything in her life changes. She gets all this attention, obviously. Her dad stops focusing on her brother and starts focusing on her, and things like that. But because of this, things in her family start kind of falling apart. So I think it's a little coming of age, a little family drama stuff, and I'm intrigued. The last prompt for January in A Year in 52 Books is a monochromatic cover. I chose If on a Winter's Night, A Traveler by Italo Calvino. I probably said their name wrong. I apologize. The cover that I have is white and silver, and that's it. I'm going to be frank with you. The synopsis to this book is extremely confusing, and I think that's why I was intrigued by this. This was also something just on my shelf that I've had. I don't even know if I can describe it. There's things happening from first person to second person, I think. I think it's saying you, and they don't necessarily mean you as the reader. They mean you, the character in the book that's reading a book. It's like meta happening. I know there's two protagonists or readers in this book, one male, one female, and I assume there's some sort of connection with them somehow through reading, but honestly, there's not much to go off of on this one. It's so weird seeming and a little confusing, and I think that's why I picked it out, because I was like, I need to figure out what the hell is going on. There is a little project I'm doing this month of my own, and it includes the next 3 books. That will come in a later video, and they'll all be together and such. The first one is Ask Again Yes by Mary Beth Keane. It is a story about neighbors, these 2 neighbors and their families, and things that go on, the lying, like truths, loneliness, instability. Things go over for 30 years, like their loyalties and love and stuff like that. There's a lot going on. I actually really like novels with lots of family stuff, like intense family situations or big happy family situations. I honestly don't know why. I have the tiniest family ever, and I don't know why it intrigues me so much. So I think that's why I chose this one out of the ones I could choose for my little idea, and I am intrigued. I think this was popular in 2019. I think this book has been talked about 15 bajillion times on BookTube. It is Queenie by Candice Carty Williams that also is going with those other 2 books I'm going to be talking about. It's about a woman of Jamaican British descent and things that are just happening in her life when being compared to like her white co-workers and things like that. Her boyfriend has broken up with her, just things aren't necessarily going right, and then she's dating, and she has a lot of questions of like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? What is happening to me? There has been online, I saw, I think on Goodreads, it was compared a little bit to Bridget Jones's Diary. I don't know how true that is at all. I've tried to avoid reviews on books I'm about to read, so I can't tell if that's a lie or not, but I am intrigued by this, and obviously, like everyone else, I really like this cover. The last book for my little personal prompt is A Woman Is No Man by Etaf Rum. It is about a mother and a daughter. I think we follow 2 separate timelines with them, and maybe we go back and forth, I'm not really sure. The mother part is about a woman named Isra, I hope I'm saying that right, and how she was forced into a marriage and moved to Brooklyn and was forced to have children, and I think things just not going the way she wants them to go. And then it goes to 18 years later about her daughter who lives in Brooklyn. Her name's Dea, and she lives with her grandmother, and her grandmother's like, you need to get married. But Dea's only desire is to go to college, and it kind of delves into that, and she finds out more about her mom and like the past of the family, and everything comes kind of careening, I think. The author herself was raised in Brooklyn by her Palestinian immigrant family. So I wonder how much of this is kind of autobiographical a little bit, and I'm excited. I have a single book prompt for later in the month for myself, and the book that fit this prompt is Winterwood by Shay Earnshaw. It is about a girl named Noah Walker, and she lives in this very wooded area, and a part of these woods are super dangerous. Like, you don't want to go in there, dangerous. And she finds a boy that has been missing for 2 weeks, and she's trying to figure out, how did you get here? And I guess he's hiding some secrets that she's trying to figure out as well. Like, everything's not as it seems. It's not a simple missing person case. I forgot to also say Nora Walker's a witch. She comes from a line of witches. I guess that's an important part of the book. So I don't know how the witch element comes into play in terms of that, but I thought it was interesting to kind of have a witchy thing with also a kind of mystery. And I think it's one of the only young adult I have for this month. The Garden, I think, is technically young adult, but I don't know if it's not the young adult we think of nowadays. Books and Lala is doing a Buzz Wordathon, where the first week of the month you take the word prompt that is given and you read as many books as you can with that word in the title. There's also a once a month kind of prompt, like just read one book for that month, and that's the one that I'm doing. The word for the month of January is a title with the book Dream in it. So I chose Number 9 Dream by David Mitchell. It's about a 19-year-old named Eiji. I think that's how you say it, Eiji. He's from the boonies, Japan, and he has some family issues. I think devastating things happen to his family a little bit. And so he goes to Tokyo to try to find his dad, who kind of just bailed, I think, on the family a while ago. While he's there, he encounters a lot of extraordinary things and comes down on his luck, etc., etc. And I don't know where it goes beyond there. It does sound like it is a little dreamy. It says a journey that zigzags from reality to fantasy. This has been on my bookshelf for forever. This is also, they probably also don't make this cover anymore because it's extremely old. I also believe possibly that the title is based on the song Number 9 Dream by John Lennon. So I wonder if that kind of comes into play, or if the lyrics apply to this at all or something. It's something I'm really intrigued by. I have a couple books by David Mitchell, like Cloud Atlas and such. He intimidates me, that's all I have to say. But this one is not as intimidating as Cloud Atlas, so I'm excited to dig into this one. Thank you for hanging out with me for this TBR. I'm sorry if I said I'm excited to read this book 50 million times, because I am excited to read all of them, and that's why they're on my TBR. I hope you will join me again for other videos. If you like what you saw today, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!